can you just take us about the selection? Sri Lanka, why Surya was made the captain? Why Hardik wasn't made the captain?
I mean, why Surya was made the captain? Because he's one of the deserving candidates. Yeah. One we know I've been around the group over the last year. You get feedback from the dressing room a lot. He's got a good cricket brain. He's still one of the best T20 batters in the world. One of the main issues, obviously, was you want a captain that's going to or likely to play all the games. I mean, we think he's a deserving candidate, and hopefully we'll see over time how he develops into the role. But as regards to Hardik, I mean, look, he's still a very important player for us, and that's what we want him to be, that player that he can be, because those sorts of skill sets are very difficult to find what he has. Fitness obviously has been a challenge for him over the last few years, and that then it becomes a little bit more difficult for, say, a coach or even us as selectors when you're trying to. Now we've got a bit more time till the next T20 World Cup where we can look at a few things. It's not rushed at the moment, and we want him to be, as like I said, he's an important player for us, and hopefully his performances are more important, and that was the thought behind it. Yeah, I mean, the fitness is a clear challenge, and we want someone who's likely to be available more often than not. And look, again, after saying all that, we think Surya's got the necessary necessary qualities that you need to succeed as a captain.
Ajit, in this selection, two vice captains have been superseded. Hardik obviously and Khel. Did you not, the logical succession plan had not happened? Can you explain? And welcome
Thank you.
the best. Anything you tell me about your approach that is going to be?
You want to answer the first one?
Yeah, I wasn't there when KL was superseded, so it wasn't me. No, I wasn't selected then, firstly. And I just explained the reasons behind what we're looking at. We've got a little bit more time now since I've come. There's been a 50-over World Cup, almost followed by the T20 World Cup. At that point, we've seen, and like I said, fitness is a concern. Not just that. I mean, we also feel that Surya has the necessary qualities to be a good captain. Hopefully, we see that over time. That is, 2 years is a long time, so at least it gives us a bit more of a chance to try and look at some things differently. And the main thing is we want guys who are available all the time here. And in this way, we also feel we can manage Hardik a little bit better, because, like I said, he's an important player for us. We've seen even in this World Cup, and his performances both with the bat and the ball are important, and that is more important to the team than anything else. Yeah. So.
Have you spoken to Hardik?
Yeah, we speak to every player. Yeah, he's been part of the team anyway. It's not like he's been left out. So, no, we speak to every player. Well, if their roles are changed, and yeah, he's been spoken to.
Look, from my point of view, pretty simple. I think important is to give players the freedom. I think that's what I absolutely believe in, and not have a relationship which is of a head coach and a player. I think for me, the best relationship is a relationship which is built on trust, and that is going to be very important. I can promise guys that I think the most important thing for me is that they will always have my back. And I've always said that a happy dressing room is a winning dressing room, and happy and secure dressing room. So that's my responsibility alongside the entire support staff to make it a happy and a secure dressing room. And that's about it. I think for me, I don't complicate too many things, and neither do I want to complicate, because one thing we need to be clear that I think I'm taking over a very, very successful team. A T20 World Champion, I think runner-ups in World Test Championship and runner-ups in 50-over World Cup. So it's not that it's not a successful team. So yes, I think it's big shoes to fill, but then looking forward to it.
Can you tell us about your working relationship with the BCCI Secretary Jay Shah? How did this entire appointment came into being? Can you explain us?
No, I think I've got a fabulous relationship with him. Mr. Jay Shah, I think we go a long way back, and all these speculations about different things, we've been on different pages. I think we can do a better job from probably clarifying those things rather than putting it in the press, because we go a long way back, and so far I think it's been a great relationship. Hopefully it continues that way, because the betterment of Indian cricket is more important. Gautam Gambhir is not important. I think if all of us have our heart in the right place, and if all of us think that Indian cricket needs to move forward, for that I think all of us are on the same page. So really enjoyed so far working with him, and hopefully I can continue the same in future as well.
Either of you can answer it or both. As players, both of you suffered from selectorial apathy at times and bounced back magnificently. In this case, players like Sarju, Abhishek, and Rutu being omitted from certain spots. Were they spoken to, and how would you put an arm around their shoulder, and because they would obviously feel a little bit hard done by.
I mean, every player who's left out feels hard done by. Our challenge is to pick only 15 to try and get the best balance possible. So someone's likely to miss out. Sometimes they've had some decent performances in recent times, but you've got to see who's picked ahead of them. I mean, are those guys not deserving of their place? If that's the thing, then there is things to discuss. But at this stage, I mean, we had an opportunity to give some of those guys, a go in the Zimbabwe series, which was good. So we have enough depth. If tomorrow there's loss of form from the players that are playing or there are injuries, but it's tough. I mean, Rinku, for no fault of his, missed out from the World Cup. It's an example. He had a terrific T20 leading up to the World Cup, but it's sometimes just the way it goes. Unfortunately for us as well, it's difficult to fit everyone in the 15. And as tough as it is for the player, that's generally a life of a player. That's why when you get an opportunity, you try and put up performances. So as soon as somebody who's ahead of you is not quite up to the mark or there's an injury there, you're ready to pick. And you could take a lot of names. You've taken 3 names, but there are a lot of names. And it's tough on them, but that's just the reality. We can only pick 15.
What about Ravindra Jadeja in Korea? Is he not going to be the part again, or like he's tested?
Yeah, I think it would have been really, pointless to take both him and Akshar for this short series. We know what Jaddu's done. He's had a terrific World Cup, 50-over World Cup. So, no, not at all dropped. I think all options are open, but either of them wouldn't have played all 3 games if we'd taken both. That was the thing. There's a big test season coming up where he's likely to feature in a lot of the tests out of that. So, I don't think 3 games would have mattered. I think we probably should have clarified that after the selection that he's not been dropped. He's still within the scheme of things and very important as a player.
We'll move to questions on this side then.
I have a question for each of you. You mentioned that you're taking over the fact that in the next less than 12 months now, you're going to play 10 important test matches and the Champions Cup. How do you balance it out while starting your stint, considering the challenges that are lying in front?
That would have always been a challenge because when you take over in all the 3 formats, and more importantly, that after the Sri Lanka tour, we got a long break, we got a month break, and then we've got 10 test matches. I think that's not bad because then you're playing continuously those 10 test matches with the big tour of Australia coming up as well. But then again, I think that is what challenge is all about, and more importantly, really excited about it. And hopefully we can do really well in those 10 test matches. And the chairman has already said it that some of the players who did miss out on this tour to Sri Lanka because there are 10 test matches and someone like Ravindra Jadeja is very important for all those 10 test matches. So yes, I think really looking forward to all those 10 test matches.
You mentioned the reasons for looking beyond Hardik as T20 captain. You were not around personally when he was handed over the charge, but some of the members were formed. So in that sense, was it a unanimous decision to kind of look at other options, and what signal does it send to a larger picture that you can't really take anything for granted as a player?
Yeah, I don't think any player takes it for granted anyway. I mean, every time you try and play, your place is on the line, you want to perform. I mean, these discussions don't happen overnight. We sort of discussed them through the last few months, leading up to the World Cup as well. So, I mean, these chats had happened before as well, and it's not an overnight thing where you just decide that someone should be captain or shouldn't be captain. There's obviously a lot of thought goes in. You get a lot of feedback from the dressing room as well. What sort of qualities that you're looking for, and I mean, the biggest thing is the captain should be on the park more often than not. I mean, that's a prerequisite really, and hopefully, Surya does that. And so far, there's never been a concern with his T20 batting anyway.
The couple of senior players that you'll be working with are Rohit and Virat. With Rohit appointed to the captaincy of the WBC, how much quality cricket is left in the court and you think that you will form?
Look, I think they've shown what they can deliver on the big stage, whether it was the T20 World Cup and the 50-over World Cup as well. See, one thing I can be very clear of, I think both those guys have got a lot of cricket left in them. And more importantly, with Champions Trophy and a big tour of Australia, obviously they would be motivated enough and then hopefully if they can keep their fitness, 2027 World Cup as well. But this is a very personal decision. I can't say how much cricket is left in them. Ultimately, it's up to them as well. It's up to the players. How much can they contribute in the team's success? Because ultimately, it's the team that is important. But looking at what Virat and Rohit can deliver, I think they still have a lot of cricket, and they're still world-class players. And obviously, any team would want to have both of them for as long as possible.
I think you spoke about Surya as a white horse and captain. Rohit Sharma is the right captain in the white horse match. So could you please respond the white horse experience specifically, and where does that lead? The previous experience like with Rahul, especially to Rani Bishop, as far as the future is concerned.
I didn't quite hear the question properly. I heard.
You said the 5 points about Surya as a captain.
Yeah.
About the security, Shubman Gill, like he's the
Yeah.
vice captain. Where does be with previous deputies like Virat, Rishabh as well?
I mean, Rishabh's been out for a long time. Yeah. We need to get him back playing. That's the first thing. He's going to be a key to us as a player. Hasn't had a lot of cricket, so we've seen what he can do in international cricket. He's won Test series almost off his own bat. So we want him back playing. I think that's the first thing. You don't want to burden somebody again who's just coming back after over a year out of the game. KL, look, I mean, KL's not been part of T20 now for a little while. Again, like I said, you look at some of the feedback that you get. We've got a chance to reset the button a little bit. We've got a bit more time to plan. You want to try and see. I mean, this time T20, frankly, when Hardik did get injured, was a little bit of a challenge. At that point, Rohit wasn't playing. And Rohit was still around, made our life a lot easier that he could come and lead. We don't want that situation going forward again. Shubman's the guy that we feel again as he's a 3-format player, firstly, and seems to show a lot more qualities over the last year or so that we hear from the dressing room. And that's why we want to try and have somebody who can also learn from a couple of the senior guys that are there, Surya in this instance, or Rohit who's still around. So we don't face the same challenges as suddenly trying to look for a captain in case there are injuries or loss of form somewhere. So that's the idea. Again, he's shown some decent leadership qualities, and we want to try and get him the experience that he can going forward. And that's the thought. There are no guarantees in life, but at this point, that's the thought.